Hey guys, this is Pato. I am a multi-seasonal challenger player from the Oceanic region, and in this video today I want to talk about 6 things I wish I knew before hitting challenger. So the 6 things I mentioned won't have a core topic, but more little nuances in my 5-year climbing journey that I learnt from VOD reviews or experiences. I personally feel like if I were aware of these things before achieving high elo, I probably would have taken less time and jumped the learning curve to a noticeable degree. Also, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube and Twitch channel linked down below, so you can watch a lot more challenger guides and gameplay done by me. Just click on the link to get started. Thank you so much. Now let's get into the video. Number 1. Not building to game condition. If you play a carry, there come some games where you're 8-0, your entire team has very little damage and impact, and it's all up to you to 1v9 the game. Technically, it is the right choice to build items defensively against high threat targets like Zed or Kha'Zix, but when you're the only hope in the game, it's just as effective to build no defensive items, go against the grain, and build full damage. The trade-off is you build defensive and probably lose the game anyways because of the lack of damage, or build full damage and make up for the lack of survivability with your positioning and decision making. I have won many games where I go full AP on Orianna versus super CC and threat comps because of my positioning in teamfights and playing around my flash timer. Number 2. When to FF. Most people just press the surrender button and FF15 over reasons where it's not necessarily GG just yet. Sometimes it's hard to determine when to forfeit because you don't want to give up a winnable game, but you also don't want to waste 10 to 20 minutes on a game that is already doomed. My personal opinion on FFing is a combination of 3 trinity factors: scaling, wave clear, and range. If your team has better scale than the enemy team, it means a lot of things. Scale just means their abilities and champion kit is superior to most champions in the late game, and they are more impactful the longer the game goes. Wave clear is super important because it indicates how fast or slow you have to give towers in the mid game when you are losing. Range is just as important because the longer your range is on your abilities, the further you can be away from your enemies as the game stalls. But none of this is important if their scale, wave clear, and range is better than yours. So I never FF, no matter how behind we are, if we have better wave clear than their siege, better scale than their comps, and longer range. A lot of the times I've come back into the game with this strategy. Number 3. Dodging to climb. Dodging is really effective to climb elo because the maximum LP loss is significantly lower than actually losing a game, and you don't lose MMR for dodging, so as long as you are winning the games that should be won, you will maintain higher gains than losses. This is how I am able to climb high elo with a high win rate. There are many factors you can spot to validate a dodge, like full AP or AD teams, but I like to dodge games on other reasons. Reasons like teammates on a loss streak. Teammates on a loss streak can give you a good idea on how mentally taxed they are. The more losses they have, the less willing they will be to actually win the game. Make sure you only judge them by recent loss streaks, like on the same day. Difference in CC and scale. To break it down, CC, if you really think about it, is a gold suppression tool, the anti-carry ability. If you're crowd controlled, you're in a stationary position, rendering yourself useless for that duration. So the items you have is meaningless, the damage potential you have is also meaningless. Let's say gold difference is 40k to 50k in favor of the enemy team, and say a Yasuo has 10 kills and is able to pentakill your team if you let him get on you. A single Malphite ultimate, regardless of how behind he is, can help shut down a Yasuo a lot easier than having no CC. So if you successfully shut down the carry with CC, you can easily come back into the game because you remove 15k worth of items off the map really quick, and it doesn't feel like you're that behind. If I had to base an example off a pro game, just watch SKT vs EDG back in 2017, where SKT beat EDG off a 10k gold disadvantage. Faker's Shockwave hit all 5, instantly wiping 3 off the map, so even though they were 10k down, they removed 30k off the map instantly. In that same year, they versed KT and did virtually the same thing with just as much of a gold difference. So CC, in my opinion, is a gold suppression tool and inhibits carries from doing what they do best, which is damage. Scale gap is also something to watch for because technically every second that you're not ending the game is the enemy team winning, waiting for the tables to turn. Number 4. Laning optimally. Playing your lane optimally has a lot to do with when your champion can actually pressure and your lane and jungle matchup. For example, if I'm playing Zed and I'm versing a LeBlanc Elise matchup, my first priority isn't pushing the lane because I'm dead if a single chain lands even if I flash. But if I am versing Vladimir Rengar, I can prioritize pushing because they have little threat to me in the laning phase. Number 5. Stoicism and question versus statement mindset. This is what I believe broke me out of low elo. I remember being very frustrated at being bronze in my first year of League of Legends in Season 4. At the time, I was a Yasuo main and I had a lot of passion and interest to get better. I studied micro and macro on YouTube watching other really good players at the time, but once I got into a ranked game, I wasn't doing any of it and I was just playing on autopilot. And then one day I had a huge epiphany. I realized questioning internally opens up your mind while statements close them. I started to form branches between my own logic and ask questions. My first thought back then went a little like this. Okay, so I am in bronze, putting in 5 to 10 hours a day playing this game, and I am hard stuck. This led to, players at the top of the leaderboard are better than me because they are doing something different to me. In which I concluded to, I must find out what I need to do different than bronze players and similar to challenger players to climb me out. Later along the journey, I would form other logical statements, like getting better at the game is placing your current conscious thoughts while playing into your subconscious while focusing on new things in your conscious. This is why, contrary to popular belief, being toxic doesn't actually mean you're bad at the game or not improving. It just means you might get banned for creating a negative environment. Before Tyler 1 rose to fame for being super toxic, he was already climbing high elo at a high win rate. And figures like Rat IRL climbing to challenger at record speeds when he was known in the past to leave games and lock Nunu. If you conclude with a statement like my teams are trash or matchmaking is stopping me from climbing, this is the type of behavior all incels possess, and it gets you nowhere in the game and life. This is because you jumped to a conclusion with no process of thought. You took the easy route and the result is nothing because you never had a train of thought that led to this conclusion. This leads to my Stoic point. Stoicism is a Greek philosophy founded by Zeno of Citium at around 300 BC, and it has to do with enduring hardship and obstacles while being calm and showing no emotion. This is very relevant to improving in League of Legends because of control. If you can accept the fact that the way your team plays or types cannot be controlled by you, but you can control how you play and type, you will tend to spend less time focusing on what you cannot control while spending all your energy on what you can. This is a really good mindset to have when you're learning this game. So make sure to try focus on what you can do and always internalize and ask yourself questions on why you lost the game before you state your conclusion to form the best logical answer to your problems. If you are confident you played to the best possible ability and your teammates fed and you lost, then it is okay to form the conclusion that your teammates were bad, just don't form it without thought. But unless you somehow meet the same teammates every single game, it should never be the reason why you cannot climb. The sixth and last point, trading is good even when you're ahead. This is something I learned when I was hard stuck in low diamond and what I believe took me to high elo. A challenger player who was my friend at the time told me my issue with jungling was the fact I was trying to win all sides of the map, which he believed to be playing suboptimally. I asked him why it's such a bad idea, and he told me that it's almost impossible to do every game because of so many confounding factors. So this taught me not to fear trading sides on the map or objectively as long as I am trading better, because that is winning. So once I started to camp one side of the map and narrow my goal, I started to notice drastic results in my rank. I shot straight up to master tier within the same month from Diamond 4. In my opinion, the real difference between a challenger player and a diamond player or below is not so much the mechanics but the mindset. Let's pose an example scenario. Let's say a fed Tryndamere is split pushing bot and Malphite cannot stop his push. Because of the 4v5 push advantage your team has on the enemy, you are near their mid inhibitor. I can guarantee you the majority of diamond tops will recall and try to match Tryndamere to stop losing their base. But a challenger Malphite will most likely engage and force a skirmish instead, win the team fight and make Tryndamere recall and come back to base, or your team will take the Nexus and end the game. This is the core mindset of high elo versus diamond and below. Unless you are winning every single side of the map, it is healthy macro to trade things objectively as long as what you're gaining is better than them. I feel like from these 6 points alone, I went from bronze 4 to platinum in the same preseason, master tier in season 5 and diamond 3 in season 6 as I wasn't playing much at the time because of university, and finally reaching challenger in season 7 up to now. I hope all of these tips and mindset help you in some way, as this is what I believe to be my stepping stones to success in solo queue. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe for more future content. I'm creating dozens of videos on GameLeap as well, and I highly recommend that you sign up. GameLeap is the most comprehensive library of video guides available, all done by challenger players. If you're serious about winning and climbing, getting your GameLeap membership is the most efficient path to your desired rank. You'll find an in-depth course on how to play each role, as well as advanced guides on most champions. Click on the link here to sign up. See you on the inside.